Good afternoon, friends. How you doing? Matt with BAAM Ranch. What I thought I would talk about today is Glock. With SHOT Show, all the videos of all the junk that's being released at SHOT Show this year, all these years later, the Glock 17 and the Glock 19, are they still king? I think probably so, and I'll tell you why. So to start off with, Glock is an iconic pistol, and I think everybody ought to have at least a Glock 19 or a 17. And do I think that Glock is the end-all be-all gun? No. As a matter of fact, I'm actually not even carrying one right now. I'm carrying just a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. I'll set that down for now. So no, it's not the absolute end-all be-all firearm. But with that being said, it's what I carry the vast majority of the time. And here's the thing. All these years down the road, Glock is still leading the charge, and everybody talks about where they don't release the new products. And well, that's because what they have works. It just simply works. It's a lightweight pistol that's a high capacity for a small package, and it's absolutely everywhere and priced good. I mean, it's an affordable pistol. All of the manufacturers out there for the aftermarket, all of the OEM suppliers, if they're gonna make anything, holsters, lights, sights, any type of accessory, if you're one of those people that changes triggers and stuff like that, the very first line of firearms they make those for is the Glock. So the parts availability is everywhere. You can go almost anywhere and get factory OEM Glock parts. Try to do that with an HK. You can do it with SIG. You can still get parts for your SIG 320, but it's just nowhere near as available, you know, for parts and accessories as it will be with the Glock. And that's the same for everything. I like things other than Glock. Like I said, you just saw my Smith & Wesson that I carry. I can go to any gun store in the world and find a holster that I love that'll fit my Glock. It may not be the perfect holster, but it'll be one that works. It's hit or miss whether or not I can go in there and find one for an M&P or a SIG 320. Now, I do think that the 320 and the M&Ps are starting to kind of catch up to the Glock, but they're not there yet. Another thing that you'll notice about the Glock is it's the thing that everything else is compared to. You remember whenever the Springfield XD and the XDM came out? Well, it's just as good as the Glock. And all of the polymer striker-fired pistols. That's what everybody says. Oh, well, it's just as good as a Glock, but it's got a better grip angle, or some weird thing like that. Well, if that's what you're trying to get to, why don't you just start out with having the Glock, right? It's already the gold standard, and I don't think that we can dispute that. No reasonable person can, right? So if it's just as good as, if everything in the world is just as good as, why don't you just give me the original thing that it's supposedly to be compared favorably to? So that's another thing to be said about Glock. Now, with the fact that I've already stated, I don't think it's the end-all be-all gun. Some people just prefer to carry something different. However, I still think, and I think a lot of you will agree, that even if you don't carry a Glock, the Glock, either the 17 or the 19, should be something that everybody owns. Every gun enthusiast or collector, or even just the guy like me. I've got a whole mess of them, but I'm not a collector. They all serve a purpose, right? If it's not a functional tool, I don't have it unless it's an heirloom of some kind that I inherited. The widespread ubiquity of Glock. If I have a Glock, I've always got a gun that I can get extra magazines for, extra magazine springs for. If I need a bunch of parts, well, it's not too hard for me to find parts for a Glock. It's the most widely distributed firearm amongst federal agencies. It's had the most testing. It's not some crazy off-the-wall thing you got to worry about some attorney dragging you through the mud if you're stuck using it in some weird you know, kind of off the wall defensive scenario. It's a gun that's been proven to be a reliable, effective weapon. And my favorite thing about the Glock, if I were to finish it off, is that it tends to irritate everybody else who doesn't like the Glock, especially those 1911 guys, right? There's just something about that that's kind of fun. But anyway, just kind of a short video. Do I think that Glock is still king? And I really did sit down and I thought pretty hard about this, and yeah, you know, I believe so. And I think that every person, their primary gun, the very first gun that they ought to buy and the last gun they should get rid of is a carry gun. Pick what gun you want, do whatever you want. You're an adult, you know, make your own decisions. But I think that first one should be the Glock. And if you don't like it, then you can move on. But all of the grip angle and it's too big for my hand and I just don't shoot it well, you need to get over yourself. If you can shoot one pistol well, you can shoot the other one well. It's all a training issue. And I still stand in my belief that Glock, particularly the Glock 19 or the 17, are the absolute king of the world as far as carry pistols. All right, until next time, you be safe.